transfers is cannot be disputed. Now, what is the consequence of that leak would depend upon the extensive nature of that leak. If it
Was
is
it a
not
contained leak or uncontained?
you don't, I'll tell you one thing. You don't cancel a whole examination merely because two students have committed a malpractice. Likewise, assuming that there is a leak, we don't live in an ideal world. There should be no leak. But before we decide to order a leak, a retest, we must be careful about what is the nature of that leak, because we are conscious of the fact that we are dealing with the careers of 23 lakhs.
It's absolutely right. Absolutely right. Age and date of
And asking 23 lakh students to reappear for an examination, together with the preparation, cost, travel, and dislocation of admission schedules,
Unfortunately, there is no other choice. Unfortunately, there is no other choice. Paper has been leaked.
Now, therefore, we want to know this. Therefore, we would like to know first the entire process which takes place. Two, what is the nature of the FIRs which have come forth? How was the leak? What is the point of time at which the leak took place? How was the leak disseminated? These are important questions. And next, very important, what are the actions which the Government of India and NTA have taken? Identify the wrongdoing students or the beneficiaries of the wrongdoing.
Correct. Yes. Now, I have an example.
Are you clear for someone who was come first? I'd like to make submission. I'm in 31.9, my lord.
So we have understood your lordship's question. They are very pertinent question, and that would ultimately lead. But I'll just give an example.
One second, Mr. Solicitor. We also want to know what are the steps which have been taken by the NTA and by the government to identify the beneficiaries of the leaks, because that we have to be ruthless on identifying the beneficiaries.
We also have to be ruthless,
right? Because anybody who has breached the examination is not entitled to be there as a successful student.
Those who are identified, their results are. But give me an example.
How many? We want to know. How many have been identified?
Yes.
But more than how many have been identified, we want to know what was the course of action which was taken by the government.
So kindly allow me to give an example. But for the time being, leave Bihar. I'll not call the police also. I'll not take instructions. Take for example Godhra. Godhra incident, it passes on as a paper leak case. It's not a paper leak case. What happened was, there was one superintendent of one particular center called Jai Jalaram School. His name is Tushar Bhatt. But he arranged with certain students that he didn't have the paper. But he said that whatever answers you can confidently answer, you give the answers. These are multiple choice questions with negative marking. And therefore, I would have a window of 3 hours before, after I take your papers back and I seal it and send it to the concerned authority. Fortunately, the authorities, the district magistrate came to know about this. It must have percolated from somewhere. Therefore, the moment examination started, the entire district administration and entire police administration was there. The papers after the examination were taken in their custody, sealed in their presence and sent, and that man was arrested. Now, from his mobile, there were several video chats which were found. And we could identify that these were the people with whom he was in touch. So those identified students, their papers are, their results are with him. And they are issued show cause notices. Why should they not be?
So we want to know totally.
We are not concerned about Godhra, but we are concerned about Patna. Patna is a leakage. Godhra, we are not complaining. I am only about paper leakage, Patna. Nothing else. All others are minor issues. Impersonation, all are minor issues. Nobody would ask for a cancel of the examination on the basis of that. Nobody concerned about the paper leak.
Overall in the entire country,
Right.
how many students whose results have been withheld owing to what we are discussing today? Individual one student cheating from another student, we are not bothered about that.
Absolutely.
That the law will take its own course.
Yes.
How many students are there whose results have been withheld as a result of the systemic? So we won't say systemic, as a result of the leakage which
Patna
took.
leakage.
So and where are those students situated? You want to see the geographical distribution of those students. Are they in one state? Are they in multiple states? Where are they situated? And third, now one more thing which we'd like to also dwell on is the following justice, the order passed by the bench presided over by Honorable Justice Vikramnath in the vacation. 1563 students, there was a retest. That was held on the 23rd of June or 21st of June. 23rd of June.
It has been
Okay. Now, one second. Just tell us for this examination now. Are we still in the process of identifying the the wrongdoers in terms of the students? We're not talking of the.
मोटोराइजर 50 अल्ट्रा ने फ्लिप फोन्स की दुनिया को ही फ्लिप कर दिया है. It is the most intelligent flip.
Going.
Answer is no.
For instance, 1 second.
Whatsoever on that side.
As a court,
Yes.
this cancellation of a test of this nature, 24 lakh students,
Completely agree with
is a matter of extreme last resort. Because it may be, this
Lordship is absolutely right.
it may be,
Right. Yeah,
and therefore we are asking questions about what was the time at which the leakage took place. So that will give us an idea of what was the opportunity for dissemination.
Very
What the modality is, what-
very pertinent.
Now,
There are 56. Quick answer. If you're not
just 1 second. Mr. Solicitor, 1 second.
I have
1 second,
just
sir. 1
one
second. Just 1
Yes,
second.
everything by
After 1 second, one more thing I wanted to ask you is that with the kind of technology which we have today at our disposal, and the government of India has its cyber forensic unit, is it not possible for us to run through the use of experts to bring some sense of confidence to the process? That you carry out a detailed data analytics exercise to see if there are suspicious markers. Now, we have to identify what the suspicious markers are. All right. So, I just want to say one thing. Let us not be in self-denial,
Absolutely.
right? Because,
How
self-denial is only adding to the problems because now everybody knows there was a leak. So, we have 2 or 3 things. We have to see what happened for this exam, what we do in the ongoing process for the conclusion of this year's admission, and finally, which is the third aspect of the matter which we'll answer, what do we do to ensure that the leak does not take place again in the future? Or what are the steps we are taking to ensure that the dissemination in the future does not result in the leaks that we have encountered? On the last aspect, subject to hearing you, there should be a sort of a multidisciplinary committee consisting of the best experts, not necessarily only from the government, but people who have very wide experience and who are respected across the country. Because today we are dealing, I don't have to emphasize it, we are dealing with the most prestigious of educational admissions.
And
Every middle class
young minds, which are the treasure of
middle class parents aspire their children to go to medicine or engineering, or Now, what are we doing to ensure that that this will not happen in future, and how are we planning to tighten the examinations process?
Right.
Is there an audit being conducted by the government on what went wrong in the NTA? That's one aspect. what do we do? There's a third aspect. Second aspect, assuming that we are not going to cancel the entire exam, what do we do between today and the date of admissions to identify those who are beneficiaries of the fraud? And the first aspect, do we cancel the exam or do we allow the counseling to go through by identifying the beneficiaries? And on the first aspect, we'd like to know from the government, what have you done so far to identify those who are beneficiaries of the?
I can assure your lordships one thing. But we are not adversary.
Report to the report to the CBI and
But
Patna
we are-
police. That is most important. My lord. Report to the CBI and the Patna police.
Mr. Solicitor, they have, from what they are trying to emphasize, we find that they place a great deal of emphasis on the fact that in the 2021, 22, 23, you had 1 plus 3 plus 1 plus 2, that is 4 and 1, 5 and 2, 7 students who got 720 out of 720 in 4 years. This year, we have 67 who get 720.
Which my lord 6 are
One second.
We have an answer with that is
No, I have one more question. What is the percentile distribution in this exam across categories, not just 720 out of
few centers.
No. The distribution of marks, is it skewed at the top? In the last year, suppose how many were in the bottom third percentile, in the middle third percentile, in the top third percentile? This year, in the sense that will give us an indicator, was the pattern, was it a paper leak? Was the examination pattern comparatively easier as opposed to the previous years?
We have not correct. We have done the analysis. We place it on chart.
Which chart?
Like to
The chart I have given that answer my lord's query.
to make a small submission.
Last page of another page note. The chart I have given that satisfies my lord's query. The marks, my lord, I have compared, given the table. My lord, somebody in 2022 who obtained 700 marks. My lord, may I kindly see this table for a moment? That will
Yes.
throw light on my lord's query.
222, somebody who obtained 700 marks.
Yes, in 2022, his rank was 94.
Right.
In 23, somebody 700, his rank was 247. Then somebody has 700 in 2024, his rank is 2250.
He goes down.
It goes down because there's 100% rise.
My lord, also there is another aspect.
Another question.
Also there is another aspect.
One second. How many students appeared in 2022, 23 and 24?
Same now. See, next table is showing it. I'm here. I will say something. Table is showing it, my lord. Can you see the 56 students that are before the total number of all of them are stoppers.
What?
Lord, kindly see the difference.
Lord, also,
There are
my lord, also there is another aspect to it.
Increase in a very linear fashion.
My lord, there is another aspect to it. In fact, NTA has published several answer keys. My lords, I'd like to point. My lords, I'd like to. Lords, I'd also like to point out some.
May I say something? Only one of the 56
May I be able to
is a
may I
topper.
make a small submission, my lord?
Rest all of them have been meritorious, have scored highest mark in class 10 and 12. In so far as Gujarat is concerned, in these 56 people that have come before my lord. So this is a case where all of us are facing tremendous mental agony because of this.
That's all right. Now we can leave aside the emotions. You can trust us.
Saying that amount of
What we want to know, Mr. Solicitor, what we want to know is this. We will have these, we'll have these anecdotal, charts like this which are given to us. Please take instructions from the government. Can we not run this through a data analytics program with the cyber forensic unit? You can contact, if the government has that in the Ministry of Home Affairs, so much the better. If you don't have it, you can ask any of our top service providers to find out, because we have to identify whether the skewing of marks is so systemic that the whole examination is affected, or is it possible to identify people who are wrongdoers or likely wrongdoers, in which case a retest can be held for those students only.
I have not answered.
But I'd like to make a small submission.
Not in a simplistic way, but I can assure your lordships about one thing. But we are not adversarial to the petitioners either way. The petitioners who have an apprehension of an all India problem, or petitioners 23 lakhs in number plus, who are feeling insecure because they may have to face another examination. But we are concerned about both the sets, and we will assist your lordships dispassionately. And whatever your lordships have suggested, I think the solution lies somewhere else.
One second. What we'd like to do, please, insofar as the petitioners are concerned, please, all lawyers for the petitioners, please, we'll take it up on Wednesday. Give them a day's time. Solicitor also wanted 1 day's time. We'll give you a day's time to put yours together. We want all the lawyers for the petitioners who are asking for a retest, to sit together between now and Wednesday and give us one set of submission.
Violation.
And we can't have people, 100 lawyers arguing before us on 100 different grounds. We want you to all sit down. We'll appoint one nodal counsel, as we do in the CB matters.
That's right.
You give us one consolidated submission, say not exceeding 10 pages.
That's right.
I don't mind. It shouldn't exceed 10 pages. Why you are asking for a retest?
Correct.
All right.
All material we rely on for that purpose.
Likewise, we'll do this. We will ask the government to circulate a comprehensive list of dates and a response to what we have raised.
In the time, this CBI can be directed. Not everything is with CBI. NTA, as we have seen in the reply, they say we do not know whether it was systemic or not. Here, sometimes they completely deny there is only. So let the CBI file a status report before this honorable court in all 6 FIRs that will place the picture that in which direction the investigation is going.
Not all 6.
Not
Only
a
Patna.
filtration in between.
Only Patna is enough.
Let away submit a status report.
You are
Let me take instructions from.
You are appearing for the CBI also, Mr.
Let us CBI file a status report.
Why don't you do this? Ask the CBI to file a status report.
On Patna. That's where the leak has occurred. All the rest of our minor issues.
On its investigation, whether it is systemic or whether it is not.
Answer also.
If I have submission from
More suggestion, if my lord may kindly consider it.
Lord, I'd like to make a small submission, my lord. Also,
Lord, there is more suggestion, if my lord may kindly consider that.
Change in the answer also.
But in the meantime,
So the order declared करें क्या अभी? अब
my lord, I
Me only one request.
submission, my lord.
I'll call for the record from the CBI also. And because something may not be made public, how to place it before your lordships, etc.
they know.
My lord, can I request, my lord, this is a joint request, that we file everything as suggested by your lordships by Wednesday, and matter can be heard on Thursday. So we are not, my lord, nobody
Investigating officer file an affidavit, my lord.
is taken by surprise that what is the document. We'll prepare it today, file it by my lord, day after, and my lord, we can have.
Or that filtration which happens in between. But the investigating officer is the best person.
No, I'm not on CBI, on overall.
on the And so Wednesday, he's saying take it up on Thursday.
Thursday,
Wednesday they will, so you will get 24 hours to study what they are saying.
Please, Milord. And Milord, in the meantime, if Milord may just consider one more aspect. Only once get the entire result of 23 lakh odd people we declared on their website. They have not declared that result. And we will also analyze the data because they declared the result of 100 people. We could see that 6 people who secured rank 1 are from the same center.
Sir, it is declared.
So you will be able to see.
Also,
They are not comprehensively published.
Right.
They
Sir, it is declared on the website.
Lord, I'd like to make a small submission.
You made your point. Let's hear Mr.
Same center, not the people. Student got the same mark 720 and 720. Lordship. One center, Lordship.
From the same center.
720, 720.
Yes.
How is it possible, Lordship? This is my question is that.
People, one center in Haryana.
Lordship, my second question is all our sheets are different. Result is a different, Lordship. How is it possible, Lordship?
The entire result, once analyze the data, are on the resources.
Answer keys for the same OMR scheme.
Also permitted to upload above.
Multiple answer keys for one single question. It has been published by the NTA on its website.
They opened up on the 8th of April for enlisting students, my lords, on a 24-hour window on the 9th and the 10th of April, my lords. And change of answer also. They have changed the answer also, my lord. This is very
Change the answer.
Second, and then the second question that why the NTA has declared the result the 4th June, my lord.
My lord, there
It is a
are
question that already, my lord.
3 answer keys for the same set of question paper. How can NTA publish that? NTA also should be investigated.
Yes, that's right.
Seats are there. How many total?
1,10,000. 1,10,000 approximately.
The next
Of which 2% is government.
How many seats?
1,08,000 something is the exact figure. 56,000 is the government seat. The entire bundling is on the government. So that they can go to private. And there was one more data, not my lord.
My lord, I'd like to make a small submission, my lord.
My lordship, it's my humble request.
On VC,
The data which has come out, so it will be important that this please come out.
My lord, all five-
OMR sheet status,
my lord, on VC, I may be allowed to make a small submission of 30 seconds.
which is opened on the 9th of,
9 April.
sir, my lordship, the portal is opened on 9th April 2024. It's my humble request, please give the clear data to find out so that we can.
My lords, why the window was open on 8th and 9th? What was the reason?
Yes, sir.
And what was the result? Because this is the only difference.
My lord,
They have identified 1,506.
The candidates who are appealing.
We'll flag something and we'll now place it on Thursday. We'll just give some direction to the matter so we'll be able to focus on what we want.
My matter. What is the we should do?
Yes, we hear you. We're not going to be.
So that we can stop.
On 9 February 2024, the National Testing Agency, into brackets NTA, issued an online application form for the National Eligibility cum Entrance Test, into brackets Neet UG, bracket 2024. Stop. NTA conducted the Neet UG examination on 5 May 2024. Stop. Results were declared on 4th June 2024. Next. On 5 May 2024, from the material which is emerged on the record at the present stage, it appears appears that on 5 May 2024, the first information report bearing FIR number 358/2024 was lodged at PS Shastri Nagar, Patna, alleging a leak in the Neet UG 2024 question papers implicating offences under sections 407, 408 and 409 read with section 120B of the Penal Code. Stop. On 23 June 2024, the Economic Offences Unit of Bihar Police issued a press release noting that in connection with the above FIR, 13 persons, including candidates and members of, and into inverted commas, members of the organized gang of examination leak.
Sorry, I should not interrupt. This is what I gave to your lordships. This is not true. That is what the Bihar police on that very day clarified.
Where is that clarity?
I had just given.
No, my friend is wrong.
This is what
No.
Bihar police clarified.
No, you are trying to cover up.
So this is on that very day published, my lord, by the Bihar police. This is with regard to the news report of Neet UG exam published in the Sunday Express newspaper dated 23rd June. On its front page with the headline, Bihar police put.
So this press release is not an official press release?
No, that's what it's, the Bihar police clarifies.
It's on their website.
Kindly read it further, my lord.
Sir-
Paper link in the my Ranif and appears, my lord, for Bihar. He handed this over to me just now, my lord. In the news item, the undersigned has been wrongly quoted and the name has been mentioned at least 3 times in the news item by the correspondent so and so. Whereas the matter of fact is that no such brief had been given by the undersigned to him in this regard, and neither the concerned correspondent ever contacted me before attributing the quote to the undersigned. No official press release or statement in this matter had been issued. This irresponsible act of correspondence is against the influence.
On second, according to the petitioners, on 23 June 2024, a press release was issued by the Economic Offences Unit of Bihar Police, setting out in regard to the paper leak which had taken place. On the other hand, from a communication dated 23 June 2024 addressed by the Additional DGP, Economic Offences Unit, it has been stated that no official press release or statement
As an act of cover up.
had been issued by the Bihar police. Let's stop. Be that as it may, in this batch of petitions, one of the primary reliefs which has been sought is for a court-mandated retest of the entire process which took place, culminating in the examination which was conducted on 5 May 2024. Stop. In support of the case, in support of their case, the petitioners have relied on two primary circumstances. First, it has been submitted that before that, you can just say the NEET UG 2024 examination consisted of multiple choice questions involving a total of 180 questions. Let's stop. Each of the 180 questions carried 4 marks, making for a total of 720 marks for the examination. 45 marks each were allotted to the segments in physics,
Chemistry,
chemistry,
biology, biology,
Geology,
botany and zoology.
geology and
Botany and zoology.
physics, chemistry, botany, and zoology.
botany.
Next up, the examination envisaged the award of negative marks of one negative mark
Per wrong answer.
per wrong answer. Next, in support of the plea that the court should direct a re-exam.
सर तुमचं बिल भाऊजी
Exam at candidates securing the maximum of 720 marks were confined to a few students, between 2020 and 2023. In 2020, full stop. As opposed to this, in the Neet UG 2024, as many as 67 candidates are reported to have secured a maximum of 720 marks. The submission can best be highlighted by reproducing the chart which has been placed during the course of the hearing. ये एक कॉपी कर लीजिए हाँ. The above chart indicates that while one student in 2020, 3 students in 2021, 1 student in 2022, and 2 students in 2023 secured the maximum marks, there's been a radical increase in the students securing the maximum of 720 marks in 2024. So, apart from the second submission, proceeds on a comparative tabulation of the ranks which were allotted to students in 2022, 2023, and 2024.
For me, most important, the leak has happened. That is the core.
The second, the above submission is sought to be highlighted from the following tabulated chart. वो भी डाल दीजिए इसमें BB. The above chart indicates that students receiving specific level of marks between 539 and 700 who had secured a particular rank in 2022 secured lower ranks in 2023 and a radically lower rank in 2024. No. Same marks, same level of marks. Not same school. Stop. Next. Considering whether, before that you can say, it is certain basic facts which are not in dispute need to be alluded to. Let's stop. About 24 lakh students registered for the NEET UG examination, which was to be conducted in the month of May 2024. Stop. about 23.33 lakh students, correct?
Yes, sir.
Appeared for the 23 lakhs 33,297 students. वो क्वेश्चन ये बताइए क्या फिगर क्या है? 23 lakhs 23,290 students, 297 students appeared for the examination. No, the examination was conducted at 4750 centers comprised within 571 cities. First up, the examination was also held in 14 cities overseas. First up, the total number of seats, medical seats for undergraduate. One second, I've made a note. For undergraduate studies is 1.08 lakhs, of which approximately 56,000 are seats in government hospitals. Good stop. The investigation, prima facie, tentatively at the present stage, the court has been apprised of the fact and don't say tentatively, the court has been apprised of the fact that first information reports were registered in Patna, Delhi, Gujarat, Rajasthan, Jharkhand, and Maharashtra. Correct? Full stop. Whether the FIRs in relation to the paper leak is only confined to Patna, yes, or otherwise, is a matter which would have to be reserved for a more detailed elaborate. Stop. The above narration indicates that the examination was conducted over a wide spectrum comprising of nearly 23 lakh students spread over 4,750 centers in India. Stop. Before the court can be full stop. The law on whether a retest should be ordered in a situation such as the present is based on fairly settled parameters. Full stop. The court would have to scrutinize on the basis of the data which has emerged on the record whether bracket 1, breach in the sanctity of the examination has taken place, whether bracket 1, the alleged breach has taken place at a systemic level or at a systemic level, semicolon, bracket 2, whether the breach is of a nature which has affected the integrity of the entire examinations process, and 3, whether it is possible to segregate beneficiaries of the fraud from the untainted students. Stop. In a situation where the breach in the sanctity of an examination affects the entirety of the process, and it is not possible to segregate those who are the beneficiaries of wrongdoing from others, it may be necessary to order re-examination. On the other contrary wise, where the breach is confined to specific areas or centers, and it is possible to identify those who are beneficiaries of wrongdoing, it may not be appropriate to order a retest, particularly in an examination which has been conducted on such a massive scale, involving over 23 lakh students. Involving such a large body of students who would have appeared, who have studied for the examination, undertaken costs and expenses, and would have to undergo the rigors of a fresh examination if it were to be ordered by the court. Next. While flagging the above issues, we are of the view that view on the merits would have to be deferred until further facts are placed on the record before this court. Full stop. For that purpose, we intend to direct the National Testing Agency to make a full disclosure before the court. Full stop. The disclosure which we are intending to require can broadly be classified into three aspects. The first aspect pertains to the nature of the leak, places where the leak took place, and the lag of time between the occurrence of the leak and the conduct of the examination. And this, from this perspective, NTA is directed to clarify on the basis of the material which is in its possession as of date on the following issues. Bracket 1. When the leak of the question papers
ग्रो पर अलग अलग म्यूचुअल फंड्स एक्सप्लोर करो और जो सही लगे उसमें इन्वेस्ट करो.
The manner in which the question papers were leaked or disseminated. Bracket 3. The time duration between the occurrence of the leak and the actual conduct of the examination, which took place at 2 p.m., between 2 p.m. and 5:20 p.m. on 5 May 2024. The second, while making the full stop, on the above aspect, we are also of the view that since the investigation has been entrusted to the CBI, the status report should be filed by the investigating officer before this court, indicating the status of indicating
partner. Only that's a core.
The status of the investigation up to date and the material which has come to light during the course of the investigation. One may when the leak was first noticed. The investigating officer shall, in particular, indicate to this court, shall place before this court material which has been gathered during the course of the investigation, which would have a bearing on when the leak is alleged to have first taken place, in the modalities in which the leaked question papers were made available. Stop. On the second perspective, the second aspect on which we NTA shall make a disclosure before this court is in regard to the steps which have been taken so far for identification of the beneficiaries of the leak. In this regard, the court will be apprised inter alia of the following: bracket 1. How many students? What were the steps which were taken by NTA to identify the centers / cities at which the leak took place, 2 modalities followed for identifying the beneficiaries of the leak, and 3 the number of students who have so far been identified to be the beneficiaries of the leaked question papers. Likewise, the investigating officer
may say he has dropped authority because identification may not be within our.
All right. The above information, I'll clarify while editing. I'll put it so that it will be more the Ministry of Home Affairs or some other.
Not the leak will be at one place. At how many centers the leak paper has been made available? Because the leak will be in the entire system at one place.
No. We have said that dissemination also. We have said.
Yes, sir.
The investigating officer shall also submit a status report bearing on the above aspects.
Yes.
Well, it's one point.
Third, the third aspect on which it is necessary to have a further disclosure by the union government as well as by NT. We'll say union government and NT. Is whether it is possible by the union government and NT is whether to be is on whether
Technically feasible.
Yeah, whether it would be feasible, using data analytics, either within the cyber forensic unit or any other expert agencies within or which may be employed by the government to identify cases where suspect cases would stop. For instance, these cases may involve full stop. This may be if this is possible, the authorities shall identify before the court identify the modalities which can be followed so as to segregate the tainted from the untainted students. The third aspect on which we would require a disclosure is in regard to the modalities to be followed between the conclusion of the examination, including the retest which was held for 1563 students, and the actual commencement of the counseling process. Full stop. If an exercise is to be conducted by the NTA and by the union government so as to reduce any further beneficiaries of the question paper leakage, a considered decision at the policy level would have to be taken by the government on whether counseling could be allowed to proceed in the meantime or otherwise.
It may not say that.
On the status of the counselor. Fourthly, the court is concerned about the steps which should be taken thereafter to ensure the sanctity of the national eligibility cum entrance test, so that such instances which have transpired during the course of the present session are not repeated in the future. In this regard, just one second, please. In this regard, it would be necessary for the government to consider setting up a multidisciplinary team consisting of renowned experts who command the wider confidence of the community to ensure that due measures are being taken to obviate any further breaches in the Neet in the future. Let's stop. If a committee has already been set up by the government for deducing the steps to be taken for the future, full details shall be made available to the court. To stop, the court may then consider whether the committee which has been constituted by the government should be allowed to proceed as it is, whether the composition of the committee should be
Enhanced.
It only goes
be sufficiently enhanced to bring
May not be there.
so as to bring together a pool of talent from diverse fields, bearing not only on administration but also on domain expertise and data analytics.
So, Lords, I have only one fraction.
Learned Solicitor General and Mr. Kaushik, Learned Senior Counsel appearing, Solicitor General appearing for the Union of India, and Mr. Kaushik, Learned Senior Counsel appearing for the NTA, have requested the court to place the further hearing on Thursday ka date, so as to enable them to make their to file the material in pursuance of the above queries by 5 p.m. on Wednesday. Full stop. The affidavit shall be shared with counsel appearing on behalf of the petitioners simultaneously. The report of the investigating officer of the CBI shall also be placed on the record in the meantime.
May I be only permitted to say one aspect?
So, I'll tell you why. Let there be the reason why we are asking for this disclosure. Whatever view we ultimately take, let there be confidence in the community that
Absolutely. We heard very
Lords, I have only one subject.
Where your lordship's views.
The entire. Lords, can I make one?
In view of the large number of counsel who are appearing on the side of the petitioners, we have requested that it has been agreed who will be the nodal counsel.
Whosoever filed. Whosoever Lord, Mr. Suvit Sharma, my Lord, who is
Independently sometime.
Shall act as nodal counsel. All the counsel for the petitioners who are desirous of pressing their submission for a retest shall file a common set of submissions not exceeding 10 pages before the hearing takes place on Thursday ka date.
My lords, kindly allow the interpretation, my lord. The petitioner on this side, my lord, can it also be time of loss? On this side, because there's a fact that
You are being supported by these.
I appreciate that. I also want to get out the fact that happened in our case in Gujarat. But here all cases where they
Why don't you do this? Give us a short one-page note. That will be more.
very.
And as wherever your lordships have said petitioners, there are transfer petitions where we are essentially respondents.
And this is beyond the leak, my lord. Beyond the leak also.
Yes, my lord, there is also a
They have changed the answer also. They have changed the answer of one question and allotted the number by that.
Yes, my lord. In fact, it's happened in my case also, wherein there are 3 answers.
Mr. Solicitor, we have not specifically in our order included the red flags. If you can just
have understood,
right. So I deliberately didn't put it into our order, but you can just see whether there are some cases like that which you can identify. See, so that then
We have filed.
I'd like to please.
These have been served. Perhaps they are not given copies. The other ones who are intervening or etc.
what we would suggest is what you give us on Thursday. Give to us. And one more thing, what you give us on Thursday, make it comprehensive so that we don't have to wait through your counters and everything. We just look at that basically.
Manoj, may I just make one small request? Some of us are
We've now chalked out our roadmap.
Lord, our diary
If we can, using whatever technology, common sense, and our understanding of the law, identify the wrongdoing students. We then don't have to ask 23 lakh students to again appear for the exam. If we have no other go, of course we are there too.
Kindly allow the implement application.
For us to file that one page of
38.
our diary number to be
Which
recorded.
is that matter? Neat matter.
Lord,
Manoj,
yeah, Lord, our
All right. Yes, there are three other matters which we have to take. Sorry.
Lord, our diary may be noted. So file the pages. Right? Our diary number may be noted.
All right. Any other fresh matters on Neet which were not on board?
Yes, Lord.
After we you can give the matters numbers to the court master. He will bring them on board.
My lords, kindly allow the implement of.
One more thing, Mr. Solicitor. Has everybody served their petitions on the council basis?
But we have not
All right.
replies, my lords.
All right, once again, the council appearing for all the petitioners, council appearing for all the petitioners, interveners, shall serve copies on whom should we say?
Central, MK Maroria.
On Sri MK Maruria, and Mr. Vardhaman Kaushik, council appearing, council instructing the Solicitor General and Mr. Kaushik, RC Kaushik respectively. The two counsel appearing on behalf of the two counsel, Mr. Maroria and Mr. The Union of India and the NTA shall prepare a tabulated statement indicating for each petition, tabulated statement grouping the petitions into distinct categories so as to facilitate disposal. So what you can do is those which are asking for a retest, you can put in one category. Then individual grievances, then we'll see whether those grievances can be entertained, whether we ask you to look into it, what to do. But we'll have one tabulated chart on petitions.
Make it easy.
Manoj, may I just request one indulgence?
That's why we said
मोटोराइजर 50 अल्ट्रा ने फ्लिप फोन्स की दुनिया को ही फ्लिप कर दिया है. It is the most intelligent flip phone. इसमें
particular combination
problem for while ranking is concerned.
But look, this is nothing. Therefore, those petitions we may have to dealing. They are individual petitions. Those are individual petitions where you say you have a medical condition, you should have been given extra time. We'll deal with it separately. It does not deal with the sanctity of the examination. That's individual students' petition.
This order should not be deemed to be as restricting only to the case of leak, because between the
Not at all. In fact, that's why we have finally said this.
for the reason, my lords, on the 8th, while the exam was announced for the 5th, my lords, of May, on the 8th of April, overnight, my lords, they brought about a notification that there will be a window open for students who could not register for the exam way back on 16th of March. Now, this window that they opened, my lords, is absolutely difficult to understand.
So more students registered.
And
25,000 and
That began now.
students, my lords, how
Manoj, I am carrying an item to do with request for 1 second of indulgence. Manoj,
Look,
there are
more students registering, etc. How can we
that most suspect, because the initial advertisement never
hear you? We'll hear you on that. We'll
Yes.
hear you.
the entire result, the entire comprehensive result should be put on the website. Right now, what's happening is individual results only are put up. So somebody has to go. So we can't.
Mr. Kaushik, the entire result, except for those which you have, we will say that these results shall not give rise to any equities or legal rights. But you must at least now upload the result.
Yes, the entire results.
the result
Comprehensive. The data science can work here.
1 second.
The revised result of 1563 and the rest of the persons all has been uploaded on 30th. No. Individually.
But do you have
They have
uploaded?
So that is why we can't use data science. That's the problem. If they are deliberately keeping under wraps.
No, this would, your lordships may take a call on that on Thursday. But there is something,
We'll apply mine happily on.
Please, my lord.
kindly, my lord.
And also, it has also moved certain transfer applications. One of the NTA's
Maybe the Asha won't track record.
Track record of the SOPs were not upheld, complied with, and they were still trying to find out that at what stage and from what source the paper has been leaked. They indicated the fault at a systemic level. Now, the another supporting fact comes from NTA's reply straight away. If I can,
No. First, we are focusing on this, the press note of the Bihar Economic Offences Wing. But the Bihar, this that you read out,
correct.
what part of it shows that, well, that this is really a malaise which has affected the entire examination?
May I answer, my lord?
1 second, we'll hear you. Please let him come through.
This report, as per my understanding, indicates they have found that the standard SOPs which were laid down by NTA for transportation of question papers, etc., was not fully complied with. They found it as a matter of fact that the paper has been leaked. They found it as a matter of fact that it was being, the sold question paper was received by this gang on mobile phone on the morning of 5th of May.
Where do we get that?
Yes, no, it is there. Let me come back to at page 292 of my second paragraph. Yes, this. The second paragraph at page 292, allow me to read that. It says it was received on mobile phone by this gang.
When were they received?
They say 5th of May 2024 in the morning, and the students were made in groups, were made to memorize the answers to these questions. This is what the finding is. As a matter of fact, we have a video which was shown to me. It's a Telegram channel where it has been recorded, which is on 4th of May. The question paper and answers were being circulated on a Telegram channel. This has been captured, the date and the Telegram channel we have. And the questions have been matched with the same question.
When were the question papers lodged in the locker?
That they will be able to tell you.
When were the question papers sent to the locker?
5-6 days prior to the actual
specific date. And second, when were they pulled out of the locker? Two lockers, right? State Bank of India and Can Bank.
bank splits.
Now, when were they pulled out of the locker?
On the date of the exam, that is on 5th minutes. It's not only the date which is relevant, the time that is the regard of the reference.
What time was the examination held?
5th minutes.
What time was it held?
2 in the afternoon. 2 o'clock. 2 o'clock to 5:20. 3 hours 20 minutes.
Now, what time were they pulled out of the locker on the 5th?
Around minutes 10:30, 11 o'clock.
Now, at how many centers in India was the exam conducted?
In India, 4,750 minutes.
4,750 centers. How many? Right. How many cities?
5.
Now, please give us specific.
571 and 15 centers were abroad minutes.
571 cities.
Yes, minutes.
And how many centers abroad?
14 minutes. 14 cities. 14 cities. Centers.
Now tell us, how many students appeared totally?
24 lakhs around minutes. Around 24 minutes.
You have the precise figure?
23 lakhs, 73 lakhs. I'll give you lordships in the
23 lakhs?
33,297. Unit against registration of 24 lakhs and plus. 72,000 students, my lords, did not take the exam, spent registration.
Now, how were the papers distributed abroad?
They were sent minutes.
And when were they sent abroad?
The embassies, through the embassies.
And how were they sent to the embassies?
You'll get the details minutes.
Were they sent by the diplomatic bag? Were they sent by courier?
I'll find out minutes later.
And
Based on record.
And second, if the now they were the exam was held in as many as 4,750 centers.
Yes, please.
In 571 cities.
Yes, please.
Right?
Yes, please.
Now, when you say that the two booklets,
Yes.
we'll call them,
Yes,
A and B, set A and set B,
yes.
they were sent to these cities. When were they sent to these cities?
Yes, please.
When were they sent to these cities?
Approximately about 5.
We don't want to approximate. Tell us the precise dates.
I'll get the exact dates.
When were they and how were they sent to those cities?
Yes, please. I'll get the dates. Bihar police.
And were they lodged in the State Bank and Canara Bank in each of these cities, or what happened?
Each of the cities minutes, they are lodged with the custodians who are minutes Canara Bank and State Bank.
So we want to know on what date were the question papers sent? Where were they? When were they? When the question papers were prepared?
Yes, please.
Right? Question papers are prepared by one person or more than one person?
Group of experts. Question papers are prepared at the headquarters.
Where are the headquarters? Delhi.
In Delhi.
So two sets are prepared by two different groups or one group?
It's by the same group. Notes.
One second.
The same group of experts in its plays two different sets of questions.
At the headquarters.
Yes, please.
After they are prepared, they are given to the NTA.
Yes, please.
Right. Now,
In fact-
tell us when did the group of persons conduct the prepare the question papers and give you the question papers?
Dates. I'll get the date.
Right. We want to know what was the date on which these question papers were prepared and given to you.
Yes.
Point one.
Yes, please.
After they were received by NTA, in what custody they were preserved? When did NTA send them to the State Bank of India and Canara Bank into different cities?
In between, printing is there. Minutes.
Right.
Printing presses.
So
When are they sent to the printing press?
which is the printing press?
Yes, please. So we will get the details.
We want to know which is the printing press.
Yes, please.
When did you send these question papers to the printing press?
Yes, please.
What were the transportation arrangements made for sending them to the printing press?
Yes, please.
When did the printing press, after the printing press prints them, we are now talking of 23, we are 24 lakhs,
Yes.
50 lakh sets,
Yes.
right? Because 24 lakh had, how many sets were printed?
Correct.
And after they were printed, where were they sent? Are they sent back to the headquarters at Delhi?
Yes, please.
Huh?
The remaining sheets,
No.
unutilized ones.
No. After the question paper is set, it is sent for printing.
Yes.
You have a printing press A.
Yes.
You need not tell us where the printing press is. Otherwise, next to they will go to that printing press.
Yes, please. Clear.
Now, it is sent to that printing press.
Yes, please.
Right? How is it sent to the printing press? Under what custody?
Yes.
Second, after they are printed, how does the printing press send it back to NTA? Between that date and give us that date, how many days had elapsed between that and the distribution of the question papers to these 471 cities and 4,750
The
centers?
entire movement minutes I'll prepare a track.